Good morning everybody, my name is Usa. We are playing Farming Simulator 19 on Oakfield Farm Farming Agency Edition. It is a new year, so happy new year everybody. I have no idea when these videos are going out on YouTube, because we've got a little bit of a backlog at the moment due to multiple streams over this weekend. Anyway, when last we left off, I was arranging the kit for cutting clover, and I've decided not to do it as a mowing train this time. I may do the last two. We may windrow and bale all in one shot, but I think the cutting and the tedding I've decided I'm going to do separately. Just because it's probably easier that way. It means I have to do more of the work, but frankly it's 10 o'clock in the morning and we need to wait till I can cut clover when it's wet, but I think it would probably be a wise idea to let it dry out, which hopefully will happen sometime today. Big tractor, narrow gates. But I will bring all the vehicles down here, I think. Let the sheep chew on their cables and what have you. It's funny, I used to have this fenced off because it was an arable field, so that the sheep couldn't get to it. Okay, what am I doing here? Turning that off, we're jumping over to this guy. But when I put clover in it, I kind of took out the walls and the fence. They never really worked. On Farm Sim 22, if you want to add gates and fences between a gap, it's a lot easier, because you just draw a line and the fence just follows the land contours. Don't know how gates work. Gates probably need to be level. Doesn't really matter if I did. That's the other thing I did do. I drew a path across this on the original Oxygen David map, because obviously we're tracking heavy equipment through the field 3 times a year. That's going to be a thing. Okay, where's this JCB? Is there? But when we had to reboot the series because my hard drive crashed, I didn't do that. I did put the path back in the arable fields across the way from the sawmill. So I am very certain we are not going to need nearly half of the bales we create here. Probably going to be making 100, 120. And I figure the sheep probably need about 30 to last them till next summer. We'll probably go a little bit more than that, just because... Oh, hi dog. Just because we now have 3 fields of sheep, and from spring we're gonna have lots, over 1,000. and so they will be start going through the hay significantly quicker. And long hauler, good morning and welcome to the Saturday morning stream, the New Year's stream, whatever it is. And Happy New Year. And for New Year's we did the old people thing and went to bed about 10 o'clock. Because we're old people. Okay, looks like I can slow time down. What is it? It's midday. The Clover has cooled off. Dried off. Done a thing. And everything sounds very quiet, so we can get this job started. Let's start the engine. Welcome to Challenger. And move out into the field. Unfold that, lower that, turn it on. Switch to the back and turn that on too. Oh, I do not want that to be happening. Swath mode. Do I have to turn off the back? That might be a thing. Do I need an alternate help? Okay. Toggle work mode. Left control Y. Left swath. Right swath. No swath. Good one. Okay, turn that off. Yes, because we are, oops, backing up. Because we are going to be creating hay, I do not want it in a narrow swath, because it needs to be all tedded and fun things like that. Now, problem is I'm hitting grass here. And grass you have to ted and then contaminate. I mean, it's dry, so it's dry grass. So actually I don't have to ted dry grass, we just have to give it time to dry out. And we can use hay or clover hay as the sheep food source. It's I think that's the number 3 column row of food. So it basically doesn't matter so long as we have hay bales and not grass bales. If we get grass, I suppose we can wrap it, make silage out of it. We'll figure that out later, I guess. And you're not cutting that corner? Okay, because we're right on the edge of the map there. Nice. Yeah, maybe next time I see Oxygen David in Discord, I'll mention to him that it would be really nice if he put the edges of his maps on the other side of the hedge and not on my side, because I hate having, you know, edge of field collisions and I've still got 10 feet before I hit the hedge. It just gets in, yeah, doesn't feel right. So where we were mowing there, that left mower was off the ground because it was rubbing along the physical edge of the map. Now the other thing is it might not be a problem with the hay, with the grass. It depends what ends up in the windrow, and it depends what the first thing we pick up with the baler is. So possible was a mess. Let's go back and do that again. What I might need to consider doing is not following the windrower with the baler so that we don't contaminate our bales, and then I can pick up what's obviously clover to get the bale primed and then follow it along with any grass or hay that we can see on the field just to bulk it up, because grass isn't worth anything. But if I do end up with a grass silage bale or a grass bale, we'll need to bring the wrapper out and wrap it, so at least it gains value, and then we'll have to put it somewhere safe for 3 days. It or them, I guess. But even with these headlands, we're pretty much 99% of this field is just going to be cut clover and then dried. So we've got this set up, more of this set up in Farm Sim 22. I believe the Pottinger mowers also now have a swath feature on the butterfly, which is nice. Of course, the other nice thing in Farm Sim 22 is you can make big bales. I was making 11,000 litre straw yesterday. So harvested a wheat field and then 13 bales, which normally would have been about 40. So for people who play on the on console, it does mean that their bale count is not going to be as badly impacted as it is in previous versions of Farm Sim. Okay, I'm just going to swing around here. So what do you say? Oh, yeah. I actually, the thing was, I figured it out in 17. I watched a lot of, Farmer Klein Virtual Farmer videos on how to. Eventually got it figured out. Although, most of the time I do use either a worker, because we got such a big farm. $300 to pay a worker to do some stuff isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. But and also, being able to follow me, so I can run a harvester and follow it with a baler, or typically I would do this and follow it with the rest of the train. I just decided not to bother today because it's all we've got to do around the farm for at least another 2 days. So it's a do I need to do it, don't I need to do it type of thing. But with GPS, I tended to use it on spraying and spreading. Although again, with precision farming, not so much needed, because you can use the mini-map what do they call that? The PDA map as a guide to where you need to go with your fertilizer. I tend to dead reckon harvesting. The only time I'm really using it is when I want to figure out a cut-in and be precisely on the row, although having watched some virtual farmer videos in the last month, I have learnt that you don't actually need GPS for that. You can just do the math if you know the XY coordinate, which is on the minimap. but it's really, fertilizing when you can't see the ground texture, and seeding. Sometimes I will seed with the GPS on, and because it costs 25,000 to stick it on a tractor. When I'm spending 400,000 on a new tractor, 25,000 isn't that big of a deal. If I'm buying a $125,000 tractor, then 25,000, that's another 20% on top of what I'm already paying for the base tractor. So percentage-wise, it's a little bit, it's kind of heavy. But since my spraying tractor's always a small one, it's kind of, we'll hang the expense on that, but the mid-sized tractors, I just don't, because they don't do enough field work where it's kind of invisible what you're trying to do. And of course I've downloaded it for FS22. I honestly haven't used it yet because I'm predominantly running small vehicles, and a lot of the time I'm managing to get the work done so you can see the ground texture as you go. I missed that completely. How the heck did I miss that completely? Boop, there we go. But yeah, then again, I mean, I am finding in Farm Sim 22 there's a lot of times where it's very difficult to see texture change. Things like, what is it? I've hit the edge of the map. Things like rolling a field. Some of the textures match the textures of seeders. The difference between, say, harrowing and cultivating, and if you've cultivated, then seeded, and now want to roll, it's nigh on impossible to see the texture differences as you're doing that. So either you want to be rolling at 90 degrees to the direction you planted in so that you can see where you've been already, or maybe you just use GPS because it's easier, it follows it. Oh, now there's an idea. Yeah, that's not an idea I'd actually thought of, but yeah, doing a did get all of that. Doing a create new fields with GPS. Yeah, that is a good move. I just hadn't considered that. I must admit, I tend to create fields with a subsoiler because they're square, and cultivate to create fields mod. But keeping the line is, I can see that. Because even if you eyeball it and say, oh, I'm going to travel at 180 degrees, which I'm trying to do here, I'm at 179.8, 0.7. It's not that precise. Yeah, good use. I like that plan. Didn't get a lot done yesterday. I went out to buy, I think, 6 things, and I got to the last place, and it was kind of a case of, well, at least the gas station has gas, because I still haven't bought any one of the 6 things I wanted. But since I buy gas at Sam's, I decided, well, I could go in there and see if they have anything. So I think I managed to pick up 1 thing of the 6 that I wanted, not including gas. Definitely getting a good yield here. So the one thing I haven't checked, let's jump out. Nitrogen bad. Nitrogen bad. Okay, nitrogen is 20 per 80. And over here, it's 120 for 40. Are we a little bit concerned there that we're increasing the nitrogen levels as we're going here? And Clover really doesn't like high nitrogen. It does mean that I don't have to come back here and spray, which I had been intending to do after the last cut and never got round to it. And now I was just thinking about it as I was starting up this morning. So I really do need to remember to bring the Valtra down here with the sprayer and just spray the clover. But if it's suddenly kicking up high nitrogen, then that's kind of a bad deal, because that'll advert, yeah, basically you never need to cut clover or fertilize clover. Now it could be going up because we're cutting effectively a grass crop, and you get 1 layer of fertilizer after mowing grass. Now I actually have never done grass cutting with precision farming in FS19, so I'm not actually sure how that all works out. Because with precision farming you usually have to, cutting will deplete nitrogen. Obviously there's a mechanic there for grass where maybe it doesn't deplete nitrogen either at all or partially. Answers on a postcard. It's the free newspaper lady come to throw a newspaper in the front yard. There's 2 of them, and the first one here will stick it in the mailbox, or in the part of the mailbox which is designed for the free newspapers. And then the next one comes along and throws the first ones on the floor and puts theirs in the mailbox. So very annoying, and I consign both of them to the trash immediately. But do you really need to throw your competitor's stuff on the floor? Because it doesn't endear me to either of you. Okay, swing wide on this. We'll take a little bit of a run round the island, make some dry grass, and then probably start on a east-west track again. Yeah. At least not doing it with a train does mean I can run this at 13 miles an hour rather than 4. So while it takes me, I have to drive around the field 3-4 times, I can run it at full speed. I don't have to run slow enough to keep up with. Normally the wrapper is just the handicap when you're doing this. But at this point, no plans to wrap any of this, so this should be relatively quick when compared with our other grass-like crop cutting events. The sheep will need a little bit of food late tonight, although they're fairly well stocked. I think the Oakfield farm field, those sheep are getting older. They're still not fertile, but they are getting to the point where I think I'm starting to notice they're eating more food. And I'm going to need to top out at least their sugar beets. Their the clover silage, they're almost at the point now where they will eat 2 bales from empty. And for so long now, I've had to run it to sort of the final 10% of the trough before I can add a 4,000 litre bale. And even then, occasionally I've had to run down with the final 150 litres to this, or the adjacent field to here, field 6, and just make sure it all gets used. Kind of going to miss Clover. Well, I don't know whether we'll miss Clover come Farm Sim 22 with precision farming when we actually move over